this stuff. There's pine trees, and just watch out for deer. Yeah, I figured everybody can see what this kind of combo does. Everybody asks what kind of combo this kind of combo does, and it's a 400 I put together. It's a 69 block. I got all these parts from friends, and they've been sitting around. But TRW Speed Pro pistons. It's a 30 over motor. I had to do a ball hone on it because the cylinder bores were kind of rusted. Yeah, stock stock 400 crank, and it's 30 under. So this is, it ain't getting cut anymore. The clearances are in the neighborhood of 35,000. It's a little loose on the mains. Right now I'm running 1030 oil until I get towards the summer, and then I'll put some 2050 in it. It's got the, if you look at the gauge, it's funny because it goes up and down, and then you give it gas and it flips down a little bit. And that's that. People ask about sometimes when the gauge flutters like that, whether or not it's a true 60-pound spring or is it one of those 40s, or it's been running fine. No, it has oil pressure when you're on it. It goes up to 50. Cylinder heads are a 68, number 16. I ported them. They flow like 255, 260 at 450 to 500 lift. The cam is Summit 2802, or actually it's the Jegs version of it, but it's all made in the same place with the High Lift Johnson lifters, and installed that straight up at it basically came out to 109 in intake center line. Valve springs are kind of weak-ish. I got the really weak 998 comp cam springs. They actually, the way I set them up, I set it up 50 thou for coil bind, and they actually spec out at 150 on the seat, 260 open. And I broke in the cam with just the outers in it, which was like 80 on the seat and like 150 open. And they got comp 152 roller tips on the exhaust. On the intake is a set of aluminum 1.6 I had in a box somewhere. So the lift on both sides is pretty much 500. And the intake's from my 70 GTO when I was 17. I never touched it. I didn't feel like porting it. Q-Jet with a bunch of Cliffs parts in it. And it's even got my dual snorkel air cleaner from my 70 on it. And pretty much the thing runs really cool. It's got a cold case radiator. It's got the original style clutch fan with a new clutch assembly on it, fan shroud. Carter mechanical fuel pump with a brand new 3/8 line back to the tank with a new pickup. No electric pusher pump. We're going to see today what happens. I'm going to have the tank filled all the way up, and hopefully it doesn't really conk out in second. But the class calls for no really faster than 13.0. I don't think the car is going to go faster than 13.0. I'd be happy if the car goes mid-13s. In this trim, built like this, it's got a turbo 400, it's got a 3500 converter in it, and 323s. The converter is kind of crap. It really slips when you cruise it. It probably does a couple worth of crap on top end. So aside from that, it's got a set of hooker headers I had. I bolted in, and I think they're 1 3/4 outer diameter, and 2.5 inch to the Walker Super Turbos, the 17749s. Really quiet. It's almost too quiet. I'm getting a little annoyed how quiet it is. It barely has a lump at idle. Even with the 2802, and enough vacuum for the brakes. Car's a joy to drive. Yeah. So we're gonna see. I didn't do the governor yet. I'm gonna make the passes when it in drive. Kickdown is hooked up. I think it ships 1.2 in the 4,800 to 5,000 range, and 2.3 like the 5,000, 5,100 range. Now I know this thing will probably go to. If I'm gonna maybe make a pass shift in it, I don't know. But I know this thing probably makes power to like 5,500, so I should shift at 6 for best ET. But I'm just having fun with the car, and I'll save that for a Friday night. Just test and tune, street night kind of thing. Have fun with the car with friends. Play around, shift it manually. Maybe check the timing. Throw a different secondary meter rod in it. But for today, it's kind of bracket racing. Yeah, probably gonna run it and see what it runs. I'll probably run it and hold a bunch and just try to drive the stripe against everybody and see what happens. And so yeah, I figured start the video off. I have a clip driving, 1 hour drive. I'll get more gas, get to the track, and I want to tape each run. So I have the ability to look back on it, and people can kind of see what this combo can do. Everybody asks what kind of power, and we've got dynos. Everybody's been dynoing stuff, and they're all in the same range, 370 probably to 425. With the ported heads, I wouldn't be surprised if this is like 400. So if it's close to 400, this thing at 3,800 should go like 105 and a quarter. But we'll see. So yeah.
He'll get ready to stake up the Dodge Durango with the Hemi. Taking the left lane. Old shot going to the right lane though, the little four-door machine. Hemi car out in front, and the Durango goes 1482, 94 miles an hour, four-cylinder car, 1913 at 72. We had about a tenth and a half on the whole shot out there, 224 to 370 lane. But I got a funny feeling they'll be getting better at the next pass. Just getting used to that 7/10 of a second road lane. There we go, a couple of 1/10s. Webkey out there with the Caprice from Thomas River. 73 on the light. Cooper Geese, Cadillac this time. Williamstown. Goes 198 on 1785 for the Caddy at 86. 1204 right there for the Caprice at 116.94.
Sounds like shit. Why does that feel like it was 14? Man, that felt like a 14-second pass. That thing shifted early. Scotty might be right. Might be a 14 something. I don't know. Just felt slow.
second and a half. All right, Chris Sikorsky got the Pontiac out here right side from Jackson, dial 1330. We'll be doing a chasing here on Brian Hutchinson's Durango. Dialed in at 1461.
I don't understand it because when he comes.
Green light's going to get the win right there in left lane for Urias. Next round, 1396 on the 1363. All right, David Leach Sr. in the left lane from Trenton, and Chris Sikorsky out of Jackson, New Jersey. Just got this car done, the 72 Pontiac, down to 1330. 1374 left lane, will leave first. In the Dodge.